Hey everyone, Derek here again with Concept AgriTek. Unfortunately, the weather has kept us out of the field here the last few weeks, but the forecast looks good and we're optimistic. But I want to take a few minutes and focus on a few things that are going to be coming to us here pretty quickly once we get things in the ground, and that's side dress and wide drop applications to the corn. You know, one of our big philosophies at Concept AgriTek is to try to control the biology or improve the biology of our soils. And we don't realize a lot of times the amount of salt that we're putting out with our nitrogen fertilizers. You know, UAN or ATS are both highly salty products. You know, as many of us know, if you spill it on your planter or on a cut, you know, it can burn. What do you think that does to the biology in the soil, both the bacteria and the fungi? Something we've been doing a lot of the last 4 or 5 years with Concept AgriTek is using carbon sources to buffer and mitigate that salt damage. There's several products from Concept that you can look at, including Carbon RX, which is a humic acid based product with amino acids added to it as well. So by adding those amino acids, we aid to reduce the amount of energy the plant has to use to convert that nitrogen into proteins in the plant, which is our end goal, you know, to be more efficient at photosynthesis. You know, we've talked about Sweet Success to great extent as well over the past few years. It too is a carbon source, and it too can buffer salt as well. So adding Carbon RX and Sweet Success to standard UAN ATS applications is a great way to help buffer that salt. Now, something else about the Carbon RX or that humic acid family is the fact that it has a very, very high CEC and does an excellent job of binding to our nitrogen and keeping it in the root zone and keeping it available to our plants, which is a big issue these days when we're talking about low margins and maybe trying to reduce the amount of N that we're using a little bit. So adding a Carbon RX or a Sweet Success to those applications could greatly help improve the bottom line. Now, as I've worked and been with Concept AgriTek for over 7 seasons now, there's kind of been a tried and true program that we've worked with when it comes to side dressing and wide drop. And that's nitrogen, obviously, potassium, sulfur, and boron. Those components combined in these side dress and wide drop applications have proven time and time again to provide excellent return on investment. Now, say for instance you're used to side dressing 40 gallons of UAN, maybe with 3-4 gallons of ATS, something like that. What if I told you to take out 3 or 4 gallons of that UAN and add in 3 or 4 gallons of, say, a K13 or a Complete, which is a potassium-based product? Or what if I told you to take a few gallons of your ATS out and replace it with Concept's S17? So there's a lot of options here to make this pass more effective. And if you caught it, I was hinting at reducing the amount of N that we're applying. Time and time again, I've worked with growers around the country who have tried to add potassium, boron, things of that matter to their programs, and just haven't seen changes in the plant, whether that be tissue sampling or maybe even sap testing confirming that. And I think what we've come to figure out is that exact definition of nitrogen toxicity is almost coming to the forefront, where we've made so much nitrogen available to that plant, and it's so easy to take it up, because most of it's taken up in the nitrate form with soil water, that we're not leaving room for these other nutrients. So just a couple things to think about as we head into this side dress wide drop season. I know some parts of the country, you know, you've got corn that's probably off to a great start, and you're thinking about these things. For us, we're still a few weeks away since we haven't even planted yet. But as I've mentioned many a times, some of the best corn we've ever raised has been planted in the middle of May. So don't give up on your plan. You know, the best plan, I've always said, is the first one usually. So we'll stick with that, make any minor adjustments, and go from there. So, but if you want to learn more about some of these products and maybe continue some dialogue about this idea of nitrogen toxicity, you know, you can reach out to us through our social media pages, or you can also find us at our website, www.conceptagritek.com.